on this computer. If we look at Teams for a second, the homework was page 86, 1 through 4 all. So I'm gonna share the screen now, share the whiteboard, the sharing. All right, so I'll try to do some decent notes here. This is page 86. This is exercise 4D. And let's start with number 1. Now with number 1, for instance, A is x to the third plus 2x squared. And we want to differentiate the following functions. So I mean, I don't like writing it that way. I like always like just saying, hey, y is equal to x to the third plus 2x squared. Or maybe you want to write f of x equals to x third plus 2x squared. And then so obviously y prime or f prime of x, whichever one you want, is 3x squared plus 4x. That's it. You're done. So if you have something like B or C or D is pretty straightforward. E or F, like for example, E says 2x squared times 1 minus 3x squared, right? And so you have 2x squared minus 6x to the fourth. And so that is your function. And so now you are in a position to go ahead and, from the rules that we know, because there's other rules that you can do this without having to do that. Those rules we might discuss it, but 4x minus 24x to the third, that's how you apply the power rule. Remember, the power rule says that if you have a function y equals ax to the n, its derivative is nax n minus 1. So we know that's the rule. And so that's what we're constantly going to be using. Okay, any questions or concerns so far? Okay. So now we're going to look at 2. And so number 2, let me make sure it try to make it come out nice. Number 2, I don't know, it says find f of prime of -2. F of prime of -2 for each of these functions. So I don't know, let's do 2a. So we can say that a is f of x equals to 2. Bro, right now I started thinking about Minecraft. In my mind, I'm doing this, I'm thinking of Minecraft. Can you believe that? So then you just do f prime of x equals 2 minus 3x squared. You can see, right? And then you just go, well, what's f of prime of -2 equals 2 minus 3 times -2 squared. So that's 2 minus 3 times 4, which is 2 minus 12, which is -10. And remember that this essentially is the slope of my tangent line at -2 for my original function. That is the slope of my tangent line. And so similarly, for problem number 2, you would do that for B, C, D, E, and F. You get the original function, find its derivative, the function for its derivative, and then you substitute -2 into it, and you're done. And again, what you find there is the slope of the tangent line. The slope of the tangent line. This here is, I guess you could say, the function that describes the slope of the tangent line for all points or for all x coordinates for the original function of 2x minus x to the third. That's what that is. Okay. For number 3, and I'll scroll this to the right a little bit up there on the board. I mean, any questions? I know it feels like I'm going quick, but I don't think it's too bad. Yes. Only be careful. All right, so number three says for each of the following functions, f of x, find the value of values of x such that f prime of x is equal to the given number. So I'll pick something that looks interesting, but like let's say 3D. They give me the following. Okay. So this is the function. And then they put here -1. So they want f of prime of x to equal to -1. That's what this is for. Now they've given me that f of x equals x to the third minus 3x squared plus 2x. So f prime of x must equal 3x squared minus 6x plus 2. And when is 3x squared minus 6x plus 2 equal to -1? So we have a quadratic. We have a quadratic. And so let's go ahead and write it in standard form first. All right. So we wrote it in standard form. And this feels like it's going to be factorable. I might be wrong. It might not be factorable, but it feels like it might be. It feels like it might be factorable. So I'm going to go ahead and factor a 3 just because I can. And then you have 3 times x minus 1. Oh, it's not factorable. It sucks. Okay, it's not factorable. You could tell it's not factorable, right? So I'll stop it there. The reason it's not factorable is because I won't be able to come up with something nice for it. So what happens? What should I do? Shouldn't I just go and go head on into doing a equals 3, b equals to -6, c equals to -3? And then you have x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which in turn is going to be negative of -6 plus or minus the square root of -6 squared, make sure it's in parentheses, minus 4 times 3 times -3 divided by 2 times 3. And then, of course, you would kind of go ahead, 6 plus or minus 36. Well, 4 times -4 times 3 is -12, and -12 times -3 is 36. So you end up with this. And then you have 6 plus or minus the square root of 72 over 6. So there's going to be 2 values for x. Now let me see the format the book wants this in. So you have decent notes. So this is 6D. And this is letter what? This is number 3. What letter is this? D. And it's saying that I'm completely wrong. The answer is supposed to be just 1. Did I write the question correctly? So let's go ahead and look first to see if I wrote the question correctly. And I did. And then let me read the instructions such that f prime of x is equal to the given number. Okay, so I wrote that down right. So let's go through it. So apparently I did something wrong. So is the derivative correct? Yes. 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 All right, so derivative is correct. Yes. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Nobody said anything. So when you add the 1 here, so you can erase all this. When you add the 1 here, this is +3. And voila, now everything is going to look beautiful. So a simple mistake like that will throw you off. All right, so now you can factor for sure. Sorry about that. And now it's actually very nice because you could do this and you know that's going to cause a double root. And so your answer is just one double root. Remember, in this case, the discriminant is going to equal to 0. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Because I see a lot of you erasing and like you're like, damn it. Okay, so that's how you do number 3. Okay, so all of them are similar. And so number 4 is where it gets kind of, I don't know, distasteful. So because we don't like square roots, we don't like fractions, we don't like any of this. So I guess I'll pick like, I'll do 3 of them. Yeah, so let's start with the easy one. And then we'll do a harder one, and then we'll do the one that looks the hardest. Okay, is that fair? Okay, so A is the easy one, right? I'll just write y equals to 2 square root of x, and you're supposed to find the derivative of it. So that's y equals 2. We write it in a nicer form. We write it with exponents, right? So we can take advantage of the power rule, which says that y prime must equal, well, what's 2 times half? It's just 1. X will half minus 1. So again, here's what happened here. What happened was we had 2 times half, x 1/2 minus 1, right? So there's where we're at. 2 times half is 1. So we can write y prime. We don't write the 1. And this is negative half. And then we don't leave it like that. We write it like this. But that looks ugly, so we write it like this. And then some of you might say, oh, no, that's really square root of x over x, whatever, because you rationalize, right? The way you rationalize this is you multiply both numerator and denominator by the square root of x, and you end up with square root of x over square root of x squared, which is square root of x over x. Okay, whichever way, either one is probably good. Okay, so that was an easy one, right? So let's pick a harder one. Could somebody pick a harder one that they would like me to do? From 4? Okay, I'll pick it. All right. D. D says x times 1 minus 1 over square root of x squared. Right? So what I do, this is not hard. Look, I'm going to multiply it. X minus, oh, I can't do that. There's a square here. So what do I have to do if I see that square? I have to first do what? What do I have to do? I have to expand it. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative 1 over x is negative 1 over square root of x, sorry. And then the other one comes out to negative 1 over square root of x. And then you have plus 1 over, I'll just write it out so you can see what it is. This is what you got. That's what you got. When you do FOIL, that's what you get. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times negative 1 over square root of x is negative square root of x. 1 over square root of x. Here we go, and then we go here. You see that? Okay. So now let me make it look a little bit prettier. So I'm still not going to distribute. I'm going to write 1 minus 2 divided by the square root of x plus 1 divided by, what's square root of x times square root of x? Square root of x squared. So what's this, by the way, and this is, I think, important. The square root of x squared is just x, because x squared to the half power is x to the 2 over 2, which is x to the first, which is x. Like my teacher told me that the two, that those cancel. That's what I was told. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this as y equals x times 1 minus 2 over square root of x plus 1 over x. And then I might distribute the x. But before I do that, it might be better just to write this as 2 over x to the half like that, plus 1 over x, right? Because the square root of x is just x to the half. And let me at least make this, like, put the little ruler here. And then you have, okay, well, that's x minus 2x over x to the half plus x over x. And then, of course, nobody says anything because, who cares? So we do that. And then we say, okay, so we're almost there. We can write this as y equals x minus, that's 2x to the half, because this is the first power, 1 minus half is half. And x divided by x is 1, because if we subtract those exponents, we get x to the 0. We know x to the 0 is 1, or x divided by x is 1. And now we can now do that. We can say y prime equals the derivative of x is 1, and this will be minus 1x to the negative half plus 0, because the derivative of a constant is 0. And so y prime equals to 1 minus 1 over the square root of x. And you're done. So again, it's just a little bit of manipulation, nothing difficult per se, but I expect you to be able to manipulate this appropriately. And I make sure I gave you good notes, because making simple mistakes here is kind of easy. And did I get it right? Yeah, I did. So I put it in the format they want. So that's, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Those are like 5 or 6 different examples I did from 1 to 4 all. And I expect you to come in here with those. Now you can cheat and go into a calculator online, but you're not going to pass the test that I'm going to give you. And those of you who care about your grades, and there's plenty of you right now in this class that can go from a B to that A. All right. And if you show me effort and you show me improvement, I don't mind helping you out to get the A. So let's say you end up, huh? Yeah, I got all next week to give you tests. So I'm gonna give you chapter 1 test. I might test you on this. All right. And please don't miss for field trips. And let's say you have a B, but if you're showing me effort, who knows? If you pass chapter 1 test with an A and then you're getting an A on this one, I'll be like, yeah, this person deserves an A in the class. Simple stuff. I'm gonna review it. If you can do chapter 4, which you're getting an A, you're just gonna take a dump all over my test. Okay. So it's really easy. It's stuff that's really easy. Okay, so let me stop this recording. But again, you can